Hey everybody, it's Matt. Today we're going to continue looking at casino craps by looking at some sample games. For our first game, we're just going to play the pass line. I have a number of rolls already written down on these cards, so we don't actually have to roll the dice. We'll just use these cards. Again, we're starting on a $5 minimum bet table, so there's our $5 minimum bet. First roll is a 7. That's an instant win on the pass line. Wins even money. We'll stick the win money up here, the loss money, if there is any, over there. Next roll is an 11. That's also an instant win on the pass line. We'll put the win there. Next roll, that's a 2. That's an instant loss on the pass line. We have to replace the bet. Next roll is a 3. That's also an instant loss. Replace the bet. Next roll, also an instant loss with the 12. Replace the bet. Next roll is a 6. So that's our point. Puck gets turned on by the dealer, moved over to the point, the 6 box to mark the point. The next roll is an 8. That doesn't help us or hurt us. The only 2 numbers that can affect our bet are either the 6, which would make this bet win, or a 7, which would make this bet lose. The next roll is a 6, so this bet wins even money. We put our win up there. This is part of our original bankroll. So after that game, we won 15, but we lost 15, so we broke even. Now, if we consider using the same exact numbers, just slightly out of sequence, let's put the 7 right here. And we'll play the same numbers, just the pass line, and we'll see if we still break even. So let me gather up the cards. We'll take the chips back. We'll flip the puck back to off. And we'll start with our $5 minimum bet. First roll is an 11. Instant win. Win even money. Next roll, that's a 2. That's an instant loss. Replace the bet. Next roll, that's a 3. Also an instant loss. Replace the bet. Next roll, that's a 12. Also an instant loss. Replace the bet. Next roll is a 6. Puck gets turned back over to on, moved over to the 6 by the dealer. That's now the point. Next roll, that's an 8. Doesn't help or doesn't hurt. Next roll is a 7. That's a loss on our pass line. This gets turned back to off, and basically a new game starts. If we were to look at the next number in the sequence we used before, it would be a 6. So that would be the next point number for the next game. So you see, just by moving this 7 from here to here, the game went from breaking even to a $15 loss. So my point here is that the same exact group of numbers taken in just a slightly different order can make all the difference in whether a particular betting strategy, in this case playing the pass line, yields a profit, or in our case broke even, or yields a loss. Now we're going to move to the don't pass line. We're going to make our minimum bet here. First roll is a 2. That's an instant win on the don't pass. So we're going to put our wins over here. Next roll is a 3. That's also an instant win. Next roll, an 11. That's an instant loss on the don't pass. Replace our bet. Next roll, that's a 12. A 12 is actually a push, so we don't win or lose. Next roll is an 8. Puck gets turned on, moved over to 8 by the dealer. Next roll is a 6. Doesn't change or affect our bets. Next roll is another 6. Same thing, doesn't affect our bets. Next roll is a 7. We win on the don't pass, even money. So our win goes here. This is part of our original bankroll. Puck gets turned back off. So after this sequence of numbers, we yielded a $10 profit playing the don't pass line. So now let's continue with the same sequence of numbers, the same group of numbers, and we'll just change the sequence a little bit. Let's move the 8 in between the two 6s. So just one slight change in the order of the same numbers. We'll pick up our chips and we'll play again. Don't pass, minimum bet. 2, that's an immediate win. Next roll, 3, that's an immediate win. Next roll, that's an 11, that's an immediate loss. Replace our bet. Next roll, that's a 12, there's our push, doesn't help or hurt. Next roll is a 6. So the puck gets turned on, moved over to the 6. Next roll is an 8. Doesn't help or doesn't hurt. Next roll is another 6. We lose this bet because the shooter threw his point. So that's a loss. And then the next number in our group here would be a 7, which if we were playing the don't pass would be an instant loss. So can you see how we just did this and it shifted the game, so now we've broken even. Just a very small change in the sequencing of the same group of numbers yielded a different result. So now let's run through another quick game playing the pass line with odds this time. So there's our minimum bet. First roll is a 7, that's an immediate win. Next roll is an 11, also an immediate win. Next roll is a 2, that's an immediate loss. Replace our bet. Next roll is a 3, immediate loss. At this point we're even. Replace our bet. Next roll, a 12, also an immediate loss. At this point we're $5 down. Replace our bet. Next roll is a 6. We'll move the puck over to the 6 to mark the point. We're going to lay $10 or odds behind the pass line bet. Next roll is an 8. Doesn't affect anything. Next roll is a 6. So we win on this bet. We're going to win even money on our flat bet. So we win 5 here. And we're going to win $6 for every $5 bet behind the line. So we're going to win $12 there. So this was our original bankroll money, and this is our winnings. So we're going to put our winnings right here, and this goes back into our bankroll. So with this sequence of numbers, playing the pass line with odds, we profited. These 3 chips cancel each other out, so we made a $12 profit. So this time I'm just going to move the position of one number. I'm going to put the 7 right there. And if you've been following along, you probably have a good idea of how this is going to work out. So we're going to play the same sequence of numbers, just in a slightly different order. Pass line bet with odds, and we're going to see how it works out. First roll is an 11, an immediate win. Next roll is a 2, that's an immediate loss. Replace our bet. Next roll is a 3. That's an immediate loss. Replace our bet. Next roll, 12, an immediate loss. So already we're down 10 bucks. Replace our bet. Next roll is a 6. Puck turns on, moves over to the 6. We're going to place $10 odds behind the pass line. Next roll is an 8. Doesn't help, doesn't hurt. Next roll is a 7. So we lose our pass line with odds bet. This turns off. And that's the end of the game. So just by moving one number into a different position, now we're looking at a $25 loss. This time we're going to play the same group of numbers, only this time on the don't pass in a slightly different order. So there's our minimum bet of 5 bucks. First roll is a 12. A 12 is a push on the don't pass. Next roll is a 6. Point gets marked by the puck with a 6. Next roll is an 11. That doesn't hurt us or help us. Next roll is a 2. Doesn't hurt or help. The only two numbers that can affect this bet now are a 6 or a 7 once the point was established. Next roll is an 8. Doesn't hurt or help. Next roll is a 3. Doesn't hurt or help. Next roll is a 7. So that makes this bet win because the shooter did not throw a 6 before throwing the 7. So this moves off. We win even money on our don't pass bet. Now let's take the same exact, so we're $5 up on this group of numbers. Now if we take the same exact group of numbers and we just move the 7 to the end of the sequence, can you see what's going to happen here? So we'll start with our minimum bet. First roll is a 12, which is a push. Second roll is a 6. There's our point. Third roll is an 11. Since the point's established, the 11 doesn't hurt this bet. Next roll is a 2. Same thing. Since the point's established, the 2 does not affect this bet. Next roll is an 8. Doesn't help, doesn't hurt. Same thing with the 3. Since the point's established, the 3 doesn't affect this bet. Next roll is a 6. So the shooter did throw the point, so we lose this bet. And then, of course, the last number, if we were to play the don't pass again, the 7 would be an immediate loss. So there's another example where just switching the positions of two numbers makes the difference between winning or losing the game. Now let's play the same group of numbers, still on the don't pass, but this time we'll lay odds in addition. So there's our minimum bet. First roll is a push with the 12. Second roll is a 6. That sets our point. We're going to lay $12 odds against hitting the 6. Next roll is an 11. Move these up a little. Doesn't hurt, doesn't help. Next roll is a 2. Doesn't hurt, doesn't help. Next one's an 8. Doesn't hurt, doesn't help. Next one's a 3. No effect. 6. So the shooter threw his point before throwing the 7. So we lose this bet. So that's a loss of $17. Now, and the last card, of course, is the 7. So if we went like this and played the same exact numbers, there's our minimum bet. First roll is push. Second roll is the point. We're going to lay our $12 odds. Next roll is an 11. No change. No change. 8. No change. 3. No change. And here comes the 7. So this bet wins. So we win even money on the flat part of the bet, and we win $5 for every $6 laid in odds. So now we have a $15 win as opposed to a $17 loss, just by switching the position of one number. So I hope by now you've come to understand that whether you win or lose on the craps table, it really is a function of the number that gets rolled by the dice. And that there isn't a single betting strategy that consistently makes you a winner. I tried to show in my sample games how every betting strategy, and I demonstrated a small handful, every betting strategy can be made to win or lose based on the numbers that are rolled and specifically the order in which those numbers are rolled. So I hope that was clear in the sample games that I showed. Now, another little interesting thing that's worth understanding is that craps is the only game that I know of in the casino where the player is allowed to touch the device, namely the dice, that determines who wins and who loses. It's the only game that I know of. So if whether you win or lose on the craps table is a function of the number that's thrown on the dice, and it's perfectly legitimate for every player to take a turn at throwing the dice, is it possible then for a player to develop skills at throwing the dice so that they can influence the numbers that are rolled and therefore skew the game in their direction? Is that possible? Some people think it absolutely is possible. Other people feel just as strongly that it is impossible. So in the next series of videos, I'm going to explore this question and try and determine for myself whether or not dice control or dice influencing is indeed possible, if it's a real thing. Now, as I shoot this video, it is December of 2018, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to do my research and to develop some new video content and get it up on the web. I expect to have more video content about dice control or dice influencing up on the web sometime first quarter of 2019. So if you're not already a subscriber and you're interested in my future results, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell icon so that you can get notified when I publish new content.